right, so we are talking about Smell 2,
Yep.
which, if you look back and remember our review of the original Smell, we had some concerns about it moving forward, and we thought it could go one of two directions. It could go where it logically followed on after the events of the first story, or this.
I still argue that that's how it opened, was the detective getting murdered by the entity. So I don't know.
It was a tenuous link.
It was, but I mean, it also makes sense because they're setting up a new story. And quite frankly, I think the cop's arc would have been boring because he already went through it with the main protagonist in the first film. So it's like, what new is going to happen to him versus what happened, vicariously through the doctor. So I felt it was the right way to do it because, especially with this being so fucking long, that's my biggest problem with this movie. They could have easily
plus 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was 2 hours and 5 minutes or something. They could have shaved off easily 20 minutes and it would have been fine. Now, the funny thing is, afterwards, my wife and I were talking about it, and it's like, God, I don't remember the first one feeling this fucking long. It's like, it had to have been like an hour and a half, like a nice solid 90-minute feature. And no, it was like 5 minutes shorter, but that first one, just the pacing, the suspense, all that shit, it didn't make it feel that fucking long.
Plus, we were introduced to a new concept as well.
Were we?
Well, the new concept of the monster.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're seeing this for the first time. A lot of this was retreads.
Well, and I mean, that's the thing is, it's like that was smart to do because, obviously this is something they're going to try to keep going with. So it would only make sense to show everything happen the same way. And it's just like The Ring or anything like that. Like there's a specific thing set up and everybody that experiences it the exact same way. But yeah, it definitely
with the sequels, if they don't cover a bit of the lore with The Ring, like the fact that they made a mistake in the first movie that didn't follow the instructions, because by taking her body out of the well, they actually released her as opposed to setting her to rest.
Yeah, I don't remember them, to be honest.
They played that a bit, they played with that a bit. Sorry, Samara's the American version. I keep forgetting the Japanese version. Sayako. They actually accidentally released the demon to cause more havoc, which then fed into the sequels.
Yeah,
so it wasn't actually the spirit of the girl anymore. It was the demon that had possessed her. This girl's spirit was long gone and replaced. So that's with the sequels. And then, of course, we'll have The Grudge versus The Ring, which was epic.
Dude, that is... Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that shit, what was it? Steiku versus whatever, so goddamn
I've reviewed it on the channel anyway.
Yeah. No, but I will sing its praises anytime I get a chance because that had no right to be as good as it was at all. Yeah, but it was fucking amazing.
It should have been a mess, but no, it turned out to be absolutely glorious. I just don't see this franchise going the same way. I just see it being I don't see a third movie generating any sort of excitement.
It's going to be similar to, I mean, really any other modern horror type thing where it's going to get sequels, people are going to go see it, but it's just going to be sort of like a dud of a firecracker going off. I can see where the next sequel's going, and I shouldn't. Yeah, that's the problem.
Like, to me, I didn't hate it, but I wasn't excited either. I just felt like I was going through the motions watching this.
See, I genuinely liked it. I just felt like there was a lot of wasted space because, of course, jump scares get everybody because they're jump scares. That's what they're intended to do. I usually am not a jumpy person. This one got me a few times, so it's like I will definitely give them kudos for that. But it was they didn't quite get the suspense aspect of this right. Like the first one, there was a lot of scenes where there's no dialogue, just barely any sort of score, but it was legit terrifying.
I always say the scene in the car, she's sitting in the car, the entity comes and the head wobbles off the side. It looks stupid on the surface until it cuts to the kid watching her freak out in the car with nothing around her. That's what made it terrifying.
Yeah, because that's when we're getting
context of watching somebody breaking down, a kid watching somebody, a trusted adult, his aunt breaking down, which is actually a horror in itself, and that's what horror is meant to be. It touches enough in the real world and your real life experiences and fears, and that's what it taps into. reality.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's what was missing with this, was we didn't really get any of the glimpses from the outside. It was just all specifically her perspective. And like I thought that was fantastic with the first film because yeah, it's just that one quick little scene. It shows us what everybody else is experiencing. And like that's what makes it genuinely terrifying. Because like with all the scary shit in this, it was, that's probably actually happening. Like for instance, the scene with the little girl and the signing before the concert.
Yeah, that's every
It's like,
possibility.
yeah, it's like that girl was probably there doing that.
But they never, if they cut the scene to what she sees, the reality of what we see, is everybody around her, and the wee girl had to be normal, not understand what's going on. That's what they did in the first movie. Enough times to make you go, oh, right, this is what the entity's doing to her, and this is what everybody else is seeing around, so that's why she can be brushed off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Again, like that's what made it so good with the first one was we got those little glimpses of true reality, not her reality, and it should have had that, especially with the fucking runtime. They could have
not like they didn't
easily
have enough
done
time.
that. Yeah, they could have very easily have done that because really, thinking back to it, the only time that happened was during the rehearsal, like the dress rehearsal, where she thinks she sees one of the dancers jump in front of her with the stupid smile on their face, and that's what scares her, trips her up or whatever. And the one dude's like, no, everybody was good, it was just you. Like that's the closest we had to that kind of thing in this one.
Yeah, it was really sanitized. But I'm also sick and tired of recovering junkie protagonist girl. That trope has been done way too much now. Evil Dead remake, Evil Dead Rise, Hellraiser remake. God, we're also freaking done it. Loads. It's the same trope. I'm in recovery.
The thing is, I have no problem with it.
No, but it's been overdone.
If it makes, well, I mean, everything's been overdone. Cinema is over 100 years old. Like there's the South Park joke of The Simpsons did it. Everything's been done before. There's nothing new. But this, like, aside from the fact that that was the catalyst to her to go to her drug dealer's house, there was no reason for it.
No, especially
like
somebody
at all
that powerful. She doesn't have people to do it for her.
Well, I mean, it does make sense because she's trying to hide it. So, but I mean, yeah, like if she's, well, no, I guess it makes sense. She wouldn't have people show up to her place. Never mind. Thinking out loud.
She doesn't have her own Joshua, the most annoying character in this.
Yeah,
because Joshua's her mother's assistant, not hers. But she doesn't have her own. She's not that powerful enough to have her own. I don't know, but the whole opening scene with us as well was such a contrived setup to explain the drug dealer, how he, it just.
So
I thought
funny
that was
enough,
overdone.
It was. I didn't realize. Like I was confused how the fuck Lewis got the entity to follow him, and I watched it. I was there in the movie, and I had just completely missed that he was there.
Right.
It was fucking funny.
That was 10 minutes to get us there of side plot that really could have been done in like 5. There's 15 minutes that could have been shaved off. Like just have him bump into split this and be there, one and done. You watch the detective do it. Really that simple. That was the beauty of the first one, was that it was such a random event with a psychologist, just on call, normal day at the office, no links or whatever, no reason why it should happen to her, but it did. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time on the wrong shift. That's how it happened. This just felt like it was setting up too much to get the entity to the I'll use the term loosely, protagonist in this movie.
Yeah,
it's like they're trying too hard.
Feel like a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but also even the whole setup. That's what gets me about the whole gangbang culture stuff. The fact they're so stupid. So they're in a doll's house. Basically, that's where they're operating from, to be discreet, I suppose. But they turn up in the flashiest, noisiest cars that draw attention to themselves.
Right.
And you're like, so you've all this spare cash floating about and you're loaded. You're telling me you can't afford some beat up, indistinct, looks like nothing, and you can't put some normal work duds. You can't not look like a gangster when you're actually conducting your business. Look like I'm a gangster when you need to look like a gangster, but fuck's sake,
that's
learn
the
when to switch
frustrating
it on
part,
and off.
man. It's like I know drug dealers, and that's not a drug dealer. Like I bought from some sketchy people back in my day, and the vast majority of motherfuckers, it's the most nondescript, non-assuming fucking mom mobile they have. They're low key as fuck because guess what? That's how you stay out of prison. So
enough.
Yeah, always seeing that shit. It's like, man, that's not fucking real.
Just screaming, arrest me! You might as well have arrest me painted on the top of the.
Pretty fucking much.
Yeah, but we'll have this whole scene and action scenes and stuff, and you're like, why is this? What movie is this? Is this an
I mean,
action
I
movie?
liked it because
Yeah, but but that
I
doesn't
dig that
fit
kind
with
of shit.
us. Yeah, but it's a different movie.
Mhm.
I'll watch an action movie. I'll watch scenes if it's in context. But when it's just been done because reasons,
Well, and it's I feel like to your point earlier, if it had been shorter, because of the fact that it's supposed to be fast paced, it's supposed to be what get your blood flowing to essentially prime you for this movie. Make it quick. Like it doesn't need to be that drawn out. Like the scene was fantastic, but yeah, it was definitely a little long just to be an intro.
Mhm.
Like of course, there's examples of movies that can do a cold open, and it's a long fucking cold open, and it's fantastic.
In
I
the
mean, I know a
context of
lot
the
of
movie.
people will argue this, but what's that?
In the context of the movie.
Yeah, but so like I mean, great example is the '09 Friday the 13th. That's a fucking like 20-30 minute cold open that has
That worked.
nothing to do with the movie really, and it's
It was
fantastic.
actually
And
better than the rest of the movie. We reviewed it.
yeah,
And it had a
yeah,
better bunch of characters than the rest of the movie.
yeah,
It had a better
absolutely.
premise than the
So
rest
it's
of the
like
movie.
it can be done, but like this is I don't know. It felt like it overstayed its welcome.
It felt forced.
And
And when it feels forced, you're like, okay, I don't have hope.
well, and I almost wonder too if the rest of the movie was better or on par with that, would we be thinking the same thing?
Well, no,
Because it's like we
that's the
really
whole
didn't
argument.
we didn't get that same feeling from that opening scene ever again throughout the rest of the movie.
Mm.
Even when shit hits the fan and she's deep in the hallucination and all that stuff,
Yeah.
we still don't get that same feeling. And it's like I guess that's the disconnect with the intro versus the
This is
rest
a
of the movie.
different. The intro is a different movie from the movie.
Mhm.
It's something. It could be any gangster, drug dealer, crazy. It could be any movie. Not this. Not Smell
Mhm.
2. It's completely disconnected. And
Yeah.
also that truck to do that sort
Yeah.
of damage, like cutting them in half and spraying
Mhm.
them all over the place. What speed was that truck doing? It did not look like 120 miles an hour.
Yeah,
And
that was pretty excessive. And it's like,
I didn't see
motherfucker,
any
you're in a
spikes in the wheel.
goddamn neighborhood. Like, come on.
If it had been a Mad Max truck with spikes and rotating like lawnmower attached to the front,
Mhm.
I would get the damage.
Mhm.
But no.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be going minimum of like 60, 70 to get any sort of like loose body parts and shit.
Yeah.
Like, that's some shit. I mean, it looked cool. I felt like they held on it too long. You see a fucking guy running across the street and a car just boom. Like, you get the idea. Oh, okay, this person's dead. You don't need to spend 5 minutes slowly pulling out to show the blood going down the street. Like, we get it. He's dead. Cool. Let's start with the movie.
And this is where I'm thinking, oh god, this is trying too hard. It's going to be one of these movies. Like, it just tells me everything I need to know for the rest of the time. And I think it was right. Just the whole sense of we're trying too hard to do something different with the same thing.
Mhm.
Oh god. And then we got a cameo by Drew Barrymore in her talk show introducing the
Yep.
singer.
That was exciting. I did think it was funny. Like, oh, what about your drug problem? Oh, I don't got a drug problem. It's cool. And then immediately cuts to her trying to buy drugs.
Yeah. I hate talk shows anyway.
Yeah.
The sooner they get relegated to the past.
Yeah. It's like they at one point used to have some merit to them, like, the good old days of Jerry Springer.
Easy.
Now I just don't get it anymore.
No, they're down in their arse anyway. You know that that's why they're always trying to clickbait stuff
Mhm.
and get involved in current day things and stuff that they're not really meant to because they've nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And the fact that those shows suffered the most from the writer's strike is hilarious.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was the funniest thing that out of all the Jimmys and stuff, all them 5 show hosts that all look exactly the same, sound the same. You can't tell them apart. Like, you could line them up together and they all look freaking same.
Mhm.
Right, all Emmons couldn't do episodes because their team of 10 writers that operate in every episode weren't there anymore.
Yeah, that shit makes me giggle so much. It's like you're supposed to be some famous fucking comedian and you can't even write your own shit. I mean, I'd get it if they were in the Writers Guild. Then it makes sense because literally they can't.
No,
do it.
that was the whole joke. They weren't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny part. It's like you're supposed to be a funny guy and you have everybody else write for you. All right, cool. You are literally just a talking head. That's fantastic.
Ah, dear. And then obviously, like I said, she does this talk show, and we'll get the whole setup of the struggling pop star with God, her mother's a cunt. But we've seen this before. We're not, nothing new. It's sort of going over old ground, and I'm not seeing anything to enthrall me, if that makes sense, with this story. Oh, we're doing this again. Okay.
My thing was I just kept waiting to give a shit about her, and not once did I.
And that's bad. Like, I felt for the protagonist in the first movie.
Yeah, no, like it was.
I genuinely felt for her. She was just somebody trying to do her job,
Mhm,
ends up in a shitty situation well above her head, and nothing she's, even as a trained professional,
mhm.
all her own coping mechanisms she's tried to teach other people are useless when a demon entity decides it's going to munch in your brain and your soul.
Mhm.
That was truly terrifying, the concept of that. But this, you're just like,
Yeah, it's like, when is she gonna die?
that's it.
Can she die already? Like, at least with the first one, you think, okay, maybe there's some hope, and I want to see her beat this. I want to see her beat this. With this, it's just like, come on, be speed it up. I want to see this bitch die.
Yeah, come on, be good. But if you go into a smackhead's house and the first thing they do is pull a katana on you, and they're wide-eyed, googly, going, "You're a green alien monster." Blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah, 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 blah. How much of an addict do you have to be to go, "I really need those pills," or
Right.
"I've already been through cold turkey and rehab. Maybe another day or two will be fine."
Yeah.
Sneak out the door.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I've dealt with some sketchy motherfuckers. Nothing ever remotely like that, and I'd get the fuck out of there. Far less sketchy shit. I'd be like, nah, I'm good, and just fucked off and suffer the consequences of withdrawals. Fuck that.
Yeah,
Especially over pills, man. Like I don't know. Like and it's coming from a fucking recovering addict. Like I wouldn't do shit like that for fucking pills.
yeah. That's when you kind of know, once again, this movie's trying too hard,
Hmm.
and it's telegraphing. Guess what's coming next?
Hmm.
It's like slapstick comedy. If slapstick comedy's done wrong, you see the plank on the shoulder swung one too many times where you lose the gag.
Hmm.
That's what this movie feels like. Like, the setup each scene that it's coming for you, you're like, okay, can we get there, please?
Yeah.
Can we see him die already? And sure enough,
Well, it's funny that you bring up slapstick. It's like if Lewis's death scene, if it had a different score to it, it would be a fucking comedy.
yeah.
Like that was hilarious. Like I was laughing my ass off. It was great. So rarely does this ever happen, but when I went and saw it, it was literally just me and my wife. There's
Mhm.
nobody else there, so we were just loud and just rowdy as fuck the whole time. It was so fucking fun. But yeah, that we were both rolling our asses off because it's just like it's gonna happen,
Yeah, yeah.
especially because the trailers and stuff. But God, it was so fucking funny.
I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't watch trailers for things I'm planning to watch.
Yeah, I try
I,
to avoid it because I don't want shit spoiled.
they give away too much now.
Mhm. Well, it's the fucking Disney model of trailers. Like everybody subscribes to that nowadays, and it's so fucking stupid.
Do you know what I really hate? I've probably said this before, but they're doing this intro bit and then it goes, "Trailer starts now." When the fuck did that become a thing?
I'm not even sure I know what you're talking about.
Have you not right? They start rolling the trailer, right? And then they put in the graphic going, "Trailer starts now."
I've never seen that.
Check it out for movies you don't want to watch. Like, I think normie stuff, but honestly, you'll see it.
I think that might be something only over on your side of the world because
Well, it's usually on YouTube I watch trailers.
oh,
So,
I don't fucking watch shit on YouTube.
but
I
it's I buy the company. they it's all
That's
part of
funny.
it.
Yeah, I've never seen that before.
I'm gonna have to
So
now
stupid.
look for some.
Yeah, definitely
Stand by
send me
for
something.
stand by for dumps later on.
Hell yeah.
As I go in
That's
automatic
just yeah, it's
belt
it's
fed
an
shitty trailers later on. "Oh, there's this one. Look, there's this one." Like, okay, Colin, get it. Fuck up now.
yeah, that's just a great example of people thinking that their clients are fucking idiots. I mean, they're probably not that
They
far
did it for
off
one of
from
the
the truth.
Ghostbusters one. I'm almost sure.
Yeah, I don't remember that at all.
I think they did it for the Frozen Empire one, which I
Yeah,
still haven't seen.
that's fine.
I just can't be. I looked at the trailer. I went, I can't be arsed.
It wasn't good at
No.
all. Like, and it's frustrating too because the first of the new ones, like I
And after
really
that,
liked it.
we all
Yeah,
reviewed that.
that was a great
And
fucking movie.
but it was a love letter to Ramus, so
Hmm.
that was, we all got it, what the movie
Hmm.
was. It was a goodbye old friend type letter more than anything else. So
Hmm.
I think that's why we bought into it more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Frozen Empire. No,
Yeah,
you don't need to watch it.
I'll not lie. The reason the notes came out so late is I was holding back on this one because I just did not feel any excitement for it. I don't know. There was something just itching at the back of my head going, this is not going to be anything thrilling.
Yeah, this is like I've watched Smile, like the first one, at least half a dozen times. This one, if I
Yeah.
watch it again, cool. If I don't, not a big deal. Like I genuinely liked it, but it was okay. Should have been talking about Heretic. Fuck, that was a laugh riot. I know you don't like Hugh Grant. I don't blame you, but
I can't stand him. He's a dick.
You really gotta
He's
see it,
like
man.
taking, the first character he played for his first 20 years of his career, the sort of stuck up middle class English gent. And
Mhm.
now he's playing this sort of wannabe gangster when he first popped up in The Gentleman. He's played that character now. This is his second character he's learned how to play, and it's just appearing in every movie.
This is definitely a change. Like we are seeing the rise of a new character.
Oh, has he figured out a third one?
Yeah, definitely.
Guy, you say Mad Goth has no range. Like, fucking, I present you a Hugh Grant. Like, fucking hell.
Okay, he is at least one of those people that can be the same in every fucking role, and it's okay. I still have yet to figure out my issue with Mia Goth, other than the fact that I feel like she can't act. But like, aside from like the surface level issue of that, like I haven't figured it out. What
Mm.
about her I don't like? But
Sometimes people just rub you up the wrong way.
mhm,
There's no logical explanation, and you would have to really go deep. But obviously, you know that yourself. You encounter people in real life too, and they just
mhm,
rub you up the wrong way. And sometimes you'll rub somebody else up the wrong way, and you've no idea why. You've done nothing different, but that's just the way it is.
mhm,
And just got to accept it and go, well, that's a thing, and not obsess over it. And just be okay. Well, if she's in something, I'm not watching it. I'm cool with that. It's just life. That's
mhm.
why. Guess what? There's not just one actor out there. And there's not just one film and not one. That's why the whole platitude, because
Yeah.
we all resonate with different people in different ways. Like, and I'm not defending Meg off, by the way. Just being a bit silly, fuzzical.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll have Skye, isn't it? The character's name,
Yeah, something like that. I don't
something like that. It's
remember.
one of them stupid names.
Yeah, it was
I
Sky.
didn't
Yeah,
even put her name down because I don't care. Like, she's a non-entity, the protagonist in this, but she's back in, surrounded, getting patted in the head and stuff or whatever. And we find out her mother's one of them kid beauty pageant mothers.
yeah. Yeah,
I've never
definitely.
watched the full show of that, by the way, but I've seen clips.
No, it's fucking
That's enough.
disgusting. Like, what sane person would watch that shit?
That's fucked up. Like,
Mhm,
honestly, just not even the fact people watching it, but the people that do it, like, would
mhm.
put their kids through that.
Yeah, man, it's just like the idea of sexualizing your child because you're a failure in life is so fucking disgusting that I wish all those people would get rectal cancer. Like,
I'm not the good type, like, the proper bits fall off.
mhm.
You can't hold
Yeah,
anything in.
yeah, man, it's
You
just
clench for the last 5 years
disgusting.
of your life, and you clench hard because it's all coming out and it's going to be pus ridden.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's.
absolutely think all of them deserve that shit.
I honestly think because you need a license for a dog. There's certain animals you need a license for,
Mhm.
but you don't to have kids.
Yeah.
And I'm not draconian. I honestly think you should fucking pass tests. But then again, it's just making sure the people
I mean, yeah,
administering the tests.
there's also other people that thought that back in the day that rhymed with schmatz me, so let's not draw a
Yeah, that's what I
parallel
mean. The
there.
people administering the test, like that's one of them who guards the guards, sort of thing. Who watches the
Yeah.
watchman, sort
Yeah,
of.
no, I agree. I feel like every child, as soon as they hit a certain age where they can start producing some spunk, should get a vasectomy. And then you have to pass a test to get that shit reversed. I really truly believe that because
Something
we need to fix society and this planet, and just shy of doing something like that, or mass extermination of the human race, I don't think we're going to be able to do much.
yeah, like, and people are just showing their arses every day,
Hmm.
and it just makes you more and more jaded and more nihilistic as time goes past.
Hmm.
And like I said at the start, patterns repeat. So what people are getting their knickers in a twist over today, the same people got their knickers in a twist over 20 years ago. It's the same
Right.
fucking attention-seeking behavior.
Yeah.
And I'm done with it. I'm just done with it. I'm done with the nonsense. I want to just get on with life. Enjoy
Right.
about a joy, talk about a few movies, and be reasonably productive in society. So I'm not a grifter. Is that
Right.
really too much?
I think it is. I think you are asking entirely too much. At least that's what it seems
Yeah.
like.
Press the red button now. I said that to somebody in work actually. If I wasn't an animal lover, I'd press the red buttons and wipe it all out. They're all like, "Oh, you can't mean that. Fucking try, mate."
See, my thing is, if I could do it in a manner that literally only killed the human race,
Planet of the
I
Apes style.
would. Yeah, pretty much. Like just something that wipes out just humanity. I would in a fucking heartbeat. And I understand that means killing my friends, my family, my loved ones. You know
Me,
what? That's fine.
yourselves. We go along with
Like I would absolutely do it. I love this planet that much that I would save it the only way that is possible.
it.
Yeah,
It's
I would. There'd be no hesitation at all.
this is one of them movies that you don't feel good about the human race. Like you're on the
No.
preacher side.
Yeah, there's literally no one in this movie that you care about. You
There's no
just kind of like,
protagonist.
yeah, it's I mean, I will say the one positive is this movie definitely reminds you to hydrate.
Oh, Smell 2, sponsored by Voss Water.
Yeah, god
We need
damn it.
minimum 100 product placements. Minimum.
Dude, that was a struggle. Even after
There's
she
20 minutes of the
explained it.
movie that could have went.
Yeah, like there is nothing okay about watching her chug a bottle of water. It's just the most unappealing thing in the world. Like I was like, yeah, I don't want to drink bottled water anymore. I mean, I don't because I'm not a fucking wasteful individual, but still, it's like that bitch is going through bottles of water like a fucking mad person because that's anytime that you're having a craving or something, just drink water.
Is that not what?
It's like who the fuck
No,
came
no,
up with
that's
that
what
shit?
people. That was a thing with people with eating disorders.
Well, okay, that makes sense though for eating
Anorexics. I
disorders.
was sorry, I wasn't. I
Yeah.
was looking for not that I was. Bulimics was going to my head, but that's the opposite of it's the anorexics. They would do
No,
that.
it's not the opposite. It's just
No, what I mean
anorexia.
is the opposite spectrum of
I mean,
that
it's
same.
still same thing, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, like that makes sense because you are at least putting something in your body. You're
But you can
expanding your
get a
stomach.
form
So,
of pneumonia by overhydrating. It's actually possible.
I believe it. I mean, yeah, you can drown, but
But if
yeah,
you're not taking nutrients on board, that's
mhm,
that's what said. That's what anorexics would do. If they've got the hunger pangs, they would tell each other on the internet to do this,
mhm,
and instead of eating, they would drink water, which would just go straight through them.
mhm.
That's not good advice. They've not consulted with a doctor.
Well, I
They've
mean,
went to a webpage. They've went to a fucking
to
Reddit
be
group or
fair,
something.
she's a celebrity, so I could see her going to some fucking new age, witch doctor type thing.
Mm,
Like some holistic, smelly, patchouli, hairy armpit lady.
yeah, God.
But yeah, that was just, and I understand it wasn't meant to be, I mean,
Product
anything other than that
placement.
it wasn't, yeah, I mean, it was definitely product placement, that's for damn sure. But like, I understand it was supposed to be unsettling, but it was uncomfortable, not unsettling. Like, why am I listening to her chug a bottle of water? And who the fuck chugs a bottle of water like that?
Yeah, it's demented.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Yeah. And the fact that it's all the same in the fridge. Like, honestly, if somebody's drinking that much water, they would have installed their own water purifier filter thing.
Yeah,
Considering
a
the
lot
apartments you're living
cheaper.
in.
It cost me fucking $2 to fill up my 5-gallon jug of water at the store, and then I have
The misty.
purified, ice cold water at the tap of a button.
Yeah. What's that thing that they all carry about now? That's like 100 quid or something.
Oh, like the Stanley cups.
That's the one.
Mhm.
They could have got a product placement. That maybe they didn't get the product placement. They approached Stanley first.
I guess.
You picture her with her Stanley cup, boink,
Right. It'd be like the whole fucking Valentine limited edition red version all over again. Yeah, I don't get it. I've got like a $5 insulated jug that works just as well, and guess what? It was $5 fucking dollars.
Yeah. Well. You said the jump scares got you, but to me, because I already knew what the entity was and everything else, I was just going, "Oh yeah, we're doing this again. Oh yeah, we're doing this again."
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't new. It wasn't surprising. Which honestly, that was one thing I was kind of disappointed about. I really truly thought that the entity was going to be different for each person, and it wasn't.
Yeah, because we thought that, didn't we? That they saw, like, the first one was like in the image of her own mother,
Mhm.
and it twisted, and the entity would shapeshift for the psychosis, the deep dark fears, but no.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed about that. I mean, it still looked great, but yeah, it was kind of disappointing. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, even though I wasn't surprised by any of it, like it was a paint by numbers of the sort. So it's like you kind of knew exactly what was going to happen and when it was going to happen. But it was still fun. It was one of those movies where it was very easy to go in and just turn my brain off and just go moving pictures, and that's pretty much what this delivered on.
Yeah, I could see that. The problem is you're having to like review it and think about it. You have to actually take note of what's going on. You're like, oh no, I don't think it helps the fact that you've no empathy for anybody.
Definitely,
That's a big thing with me. You've no empathy, so you can't be on anybody's side.
Yeah,
So you
because
just don't give a shit.
like it's one thing with like a slasher to not give a fuck, because that's literally all those people are there for, is they are cannon fodder. They are just a means to an end. So it's different going into something like that versus something like this, where with the first one, the horror of it all hinged on whether or not we liked the character and felt for the character. I mean, just the moment where she pulls the cat out of the fucking box, or the kid pulls the cat out of the box, or was it a dog? I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched it, but like the birthday party scene, like that's that's devastating, because she has legit been just like absolutely dying to know where the fucking animal is, and it hits. Any other time it'd be like, oh well, that was just meant to fuck with us. but like that was a true moment of despair and shit. Whereas with this, it's like everything that happens to her, it's like, she kind of deserves that.
Yeah, and everybody else around her who gets caught in the crossfire, you don't give a shit. So
Yeah.
you're not feeling for anybody. The teleprompter scene,
That was pretty funny.
how close to the knuckle is that with real life? We have seen this when Hollywood celebrity A goes on stage, teleprompter doesn't work, and they just stand there confused because they can't fucking speak.
Yeah.
God, we said like we don't have a script for this shit. You know what I mean? We are on for hours at a time. Any YouTuber reviewer is on for hours without a fucking script. And how many times has somebody thrown something in the chat and we've just went on it, you know, and even if we don't know 100%, we'll find out there and then and we'll talk about something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not hard. And we're just mere mortals.
Right.
We aren't the exalted ranks of the Hollywood elite, you know. But yeah, the whole thing with the teleprompter, the fact that it stopped and she could not miss a beat. She can go, oh, it stopped. She actually came to a standstill. And we've legit seen that. The funny ones are the singers that start fighting with the audience and their iPod's still playing in the background with them singing.
Yeah.
And people still go to their concerts.
Right.
I don't know who's worse.
I don't get that.
I don't know who's worse. They're like, I don't have to try hard to make loads of money. Or the people that will pay to go and see them and support them once they've realised the cat's out of the bag. I'll go back to the G4 TV debacle. The minute that silly bent let the cat out of the bag, they don't actually play any of the games they review. And she didn't just drop herself in it, but she dropped the whole fucking team in it. And you just saw that moment of they went, you're not going to be saying that. And just that fun moment of, oh shit. And sure enough,
that was definitely a corpse that did not need to be brought back. Like it should have just stayed dead.
Yeah.
That was a travesty.
Yeah, but just that moment of, and they probably let the cat out of the bag for the previous entity as well. That's what they did. And the whole legacy media, why nobody gives a shit and nobody watches or believes them, is because they don't actually get involved with the properties. It'd be like us reviewing this movie with cliff notes from somebody else and we never actually watched it.
Yeah.
Gee golly, that was fun, that scene, or in the
right. Well, it's so frustrating. Like, so I don't know if you've seen this yet, but there's a documentary out called Attack of the Doc, which essentially it's a documentary about the history of Attack of the Show, but also like G4 as a whole as well. And it's so frustrating to watch that because like that was my generation. Like I watched G4. I was there the last fucking day. Like I watched them tear apart the set and shit. It was like I absolutely loved that channel. And then, to watch that, be reminded of just how big of an impact they had on, pop culture, video games, all that shit, like just everything good in life. They had such a big impact on that. And then to remember what they did to bring it back, it's like, fuck you. It's like, that's like digging up a corpse of someone's parent and being like, I'm going to bring it back to life. By fucking
Yeah.
So then you're just sitting there.
On the table.
Yeah, it's like then you're just watching somebody rape your parent's corpse. And it's like, this isn't the same. I don't like this.
We were talking actually during the Freddy Krueger movie about the MTV generation and the impact that it had and how much of a phenomenon that one channel had. And that was my generation, I suppose, before it became whatever the hell it is now. Yeah, it was a fickle crowd. It wasn't long lasting, but still, if MTV put its stamp on something, it became law, so to speak, or became this is pop culture.
Pretty much. Well,
but
it's like
that's all gone.
It made so many careers too. I mean, you got Bernard Rose, fucking Michael Bay, like pretty much any music video director from that era became like one of the greats as far as like feature film directors and shit. Yeah, it was a big thing, and then it became what it is.
Yeah, that's what this feels like. This is talking about pop stars as if it was the mid-80s as well. Like this is the whole pop star thing of the 80s and that, and when they were actually still relevant.
Honestly, that's still a thing.
Is that still a thing?
It's still absolutely a thing. Like what was it? Was it last year before last? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think it was like 2 years ago, but I went and saw, I took my sister to go see Billie Eilish. Basically, it was a concert at a theater.
Like a 12-year-old girl can't mumble two words together.
I mean, I don't like the music, but whatever. I listen to weird shit. But yeah, like watching the people there interact with the movie screen, it's like, oh, okay, so that's not just a make-believe thing. That's still an actual thing. Like there's kids fucking standing in front of the screen that's clearly not live, screaming and crying, and it's like, I get that at a concert. But this is a fucking movie. Like, what the fuck?
Is it just a mechanism for teenage hormones to be released?
I guess.
And it doesn't matter. Just show them something shiny so they can scream and let it all out. Is that what it is? It's not actually. I don't know. I never got into it. You know what I mean? Grew up metalhead, so don't care.
Yeah.
Never. I just realized, like, I think like 2000s or something like that early, I give up. Like, not even interested in pop music. Like, if a radio station plays and it plays an old tune, I might remember it and even remember the artist from pop music just because of being familiar. But I could not tell you anybody today.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, that's called growing up.
It's just not even remotely in my zeitgeist to be interested. Even metal music and that, you know, like new artists, I really don't. Just no interest.
I agree. It's rare that I find a new band that I like because it's all going such a weird direction now.
I just see whiny children. Like, you hear them speak and they're just and I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake, somebody hit that fucker a slap, would you?
Right.
Just what happened to let's have fun and enjoy life and squeeze every moment out of it because we're in a fucking short road, folks. This whole and I want to sing about I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, you're no wonder fucking people are fucked up in the head if that's their inspiration.
Yeah.
Yes, the world's shit. We all know it.
I mean, that's most of the shit I listen to. There's people screaming with heavily distorted guitars, and it's all about suicide and shit. So I get it.
Oh dear, I don't know, man.
So back to the movie.
Yeah, well, it is there. You know what I mean? Because this is exploring pop.
That's true.
Pop stars, music, and the fact that she's screaming at door and fans and stuff. And there's no way you could like her if you tried. Like, fucking hell.
Yeah, that is the one thing I keep going back to with this movie. It's like there's not one point in this movie do I feel bad for, like, at all. Like, even when they do the flashback scene of her car accident, like the whole reason why she's addicted to pills, it's like I don't feel bad that she got in an accident and her fucking boyfriend died.
I'm sorry one of them survived. Honestly, I'm just sorry that it didn't go into a big ball of flames.
Yeah, and it could just a little aside, that fucking guy. Like, I didn't realize that was Jack Nicholson's kid, but the first time I saw him, I was like, damn, that's like a fucking cartoon version of Jack Torrance from the fucking Shining.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, there's a reason why it looks like the fucking, cartoon version of him, because it's his kid.
Oh, dear. But even that was so contrived.
Yeah,
do you remember, what was that movie? Training Day with
I don't think I ever watched it.
Denzel Washington and what's his face out of Sinister, main character in Sinister.
Yep, I can't.
He's in the Black Phone as well.
Yeah.
You know who I mean?
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, that's the one, right? Denzel Washington's basically, can I get this stuff? Like 2 whole scenes of him doing this.
Yeah, that's safe.
In the middle of like town.
Yeah, like, I don't get that. It's like I talk a lot when I'm driving. I never turn to look at the fucking person unless I'm stopped.
You're just like, no. Really? You're going to crash? No shit. Once again, everything is so fucking telegraphed. Every scene is so telegraphed that you know it's coming 100 miles away.
It sucked because there was so much build up for it too, like, because they don't show it early on in the movie.
Yeah,
it's something that they allude to, and then it finally happens, and it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you guys have been saying. Like, we didn't actually need this at all because you've already told us what happened. There was no news with actually seeing the crash. And the thing is, we don't even actually see the crash. We just see, oh, here's a cliff, and then she comes to and there's blood and stuff. And it's like, that wasn't exciting. Okay, I will say that was my biggest problem with this movie, was the lack of actually seeing stuff. In the first movie, we saw everything. And with the ending of her fucking killing herself with a microphone, all we see is the audience reacting and the sounds. And the sounds weren't even that great.
No.
Like, you would imagine there'd be so much more splooshing noises.
Yeah.
And, clearly, like, bones cracking, metal bending. Like, it was quite disappointing.
Yeah. She didn't matter if she had a gun and just shot herself. I'll go back to the first one. The impact of the first one of each scene And the reveals of it's her insanity, like even the scene in the car where the phone rings with Gemma, the exposition device. What purpose did that character serve?
Yeah, it was like they were trying to do the greatest hits of the first film, but just didn't work as well. Because yeah, like the scene in her house when the therapist comes over and she gets the phone call from her therapist and the therapist is looking at her. That was terrifying. That
Yeah.
was legit scary. With this, it's just like, yeah, I kind of figured as much because that happened in the first one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't scary.
No impact.
Mhm.
And you're just like, what they could have played a bit better with, something that did well actually was seeing the time pass. So she didn't know, she thinks she's
Mhm.
going to bed and next thing you know, it's the next morning.
Mhm.
And she's no idea what she's done. If they had to play with that a bit more, that would have been a different angle because they didn't
Mhm.
really play with that in the first one. So
Yeah,
her
no,
carrying through a
I was
complete.
gonna say it only happened once in the first one, so I think that's probably why they only did it once in this one.
No, but the fact, the driving scene as well, and then the reveal at the end, they're showing that she's been carrying on her daily life and she's no clue
Mhm.
what she's been or done or anything because it's all been the entity.
Mhm.
That was an interesting angle that could have played with this, but that didn't do it any sort of justice or enough.
Yeah.
So there was potential there for this to be a fresh take on a different person's experience. You know what I mean? Unhinged reality, losing reality or insanity, it's such a wide ranging thing that you can play with.
Mhm.
And you've got a demon that gets inside your head, like you've nowhere to go or hide. That's a terrifying concept.
Mhm.
And the door's wide open. So why does this movie feel so limited?
Yeah, that was the thing too. It's like it seemed like they were trying to have a bit of a bigger scope with it, but yeah, it was so restrained. Like they didn't take it to different places. Like the only thing I can really think where they did do different than the first one was the scene in her apartment where her dancers are coming after her. But even then, it's like once they got her, the worst she had was a fucking concussion.
Hmm.
Like they're just all like on top of her, and that was it. It was kind of uneventful. The buildup definitely was not paid off.
No. Like if they had a chased her that she slipped or something, it would have made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the whole idea. The entity isn't going to kill her. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that which is lost in this movie because the first one we didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
We had hints and then it sort of got explained a bit, but this one we absolutely know. If you've seen the first movie, you know what the game is.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of that stuff didn't make sense. I get tortured, but they actually cause her harm, physical harm, where it could go wrong. Like
Mm-hmm.
one slip, you know yourself, one slip is all it takes to end you. A human body can fall out of a helicopter and survive, but you can trip on a curbstone and be gone. That's how
Mm-hmm.
random the universe is. So for an entity that has a long game to survive isn't going to be that foolish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, the whole interpretive dance scene. Okay, fine. That's a thing. Mentions
Mm-hmm.
in the clinic, the wellness center.
Yeah. I mean that was cool at least until we found out that it wasn't real. And then
Yeah.
that was quite disappointing. Because then it's like how much of that actually happened versus not. Because there's
Well, it turned
multiple
out none of
people.
it because her mother was in the audience at the end.
Yeah. Well, no, I get that, but it's like, did any semblance of that happen? Like, was she even in the
No, she wouldn't have
hospital?
been on stage. She'd have been locked up in right. So she stole a gun. She waves it about. She steals a car, goes in a bender, flying about the place. There's no way she'd be on tour. Like all the smart lawyers of the day, like, and she's already on her final thread. She's pissed off executives and charity, and like you don't piss off charities.
Mm-hmm.
They're worse than the map. In fact, I don't even remember Death to Smoochie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I cannot. I always suspected, I always have my opinions in charities, but that movie just really hits home.
Yeah, I got it. It's so fucking good.
I'm Rainbow fucking Randolph. Oh dear. Anyway, yeah, there's no way should any of that happened and her not be permanently in rehab or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
even her mother said, you cancel this, you're going into rehab, and that's it, you're done. Which is right, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But there we go. And then she meets this guy. That whole side plot as well was painful.
Especially because there's no payoff. Like, it wasn't even real. Like, that guy did not exist.
No.
I mean, that's almost like movie writing 101 is doing the whole, oh, but it was just a dream in the end. It's bullshit because then it's like, why did we watch that?
Yeah.
And that's the majority of this wasn't seeing her slip into psychosis. It was just kidding. That didn't actually happen. Like literally from the beginning, like the whole Gemma thing at the very end of the movie, she calls her and is like, yeah, I haven't talked to you in ages because you're a cunt. And it's like, you're fucking kidding me. The last 2 hours was just bullshit. and then we're not even gonna get to see her actually kill herself. Fuck you.
Yeah. And then we'll go right back to the opening scene with her, the space thing.
Mhm.
That's where she is. She's on stage. So somehow she's went through routines and stuff. What's hilarious as well, there's a rehearsal scene of a pop song, a fake pop song. It just sounds like a pop song.
I mean, that's because it was written, recorded, everything. Like,
It's just so pop
it's
music is so
great.
disposable. That's they can just make it up. I will just stick out in the movie. I don't even need to give it to one of the artists. They'll do it for this. It's what I mean, or we'll give it to one of the artists later on. Nobody will notice the difference.
Right? Yeah, it is pretty goddamn funny. Just how it's formulaic and easily mimicked.
Yeah, the dance moves and everything's like any pop video ever.
Mhm.
It's just yeah. That whole thing in the refrigerator as well. The brick in the door. You're like that's going to slip out. It's going to slip out. It's going to slip out. Ah, it slipped out. What a shock.
Well, especially the setup. Oh, you got to set this here because it doesn't open. Motherfucker, who the hell hasn't been in a walk-in fridge and doesn't understand? You don't let that shit close.
Button. That's why they installed the rubber button thing. Because
Well, that's why
getting locked in.
He had to make a point of saying that it doesn't work.
Yeah, here dum-dums. Here it comes.
It's like it is a abandoned fucking restaurant. Of course it doesn't work. And one thing I'll say, because that was supposed to be like a Pizza Hut or something.
Yeah.
I used to work at Pizza Hut.
Their fridges
There is no Pizza Hut in the world that has a fucking walk-in freezer that goddamn big. Period. That's bigger than the last Pizza Hut that I worked at combined, like the entire building.
Fuck right off. Even working for a supermarket chain, like a walk-in freezer, there was one maybe that big, but it was shared by 3 different departments. You didn't get, I mean, it was like entire departments had a corner. That was it. And that thing you didn't move in. It wasn't that. Just silly. But the whole thing of show, don't tell. Instead of telling us the door was broken, the brick slips out. She goes to try it and realizes it's all busted up, like half a second.
Yeah,
but it didn't matter because it wasn't real. So
yeah, and that was the thing too. It's like the entity kept attacking her, like actually having an altercation, and then nothing happened. It's like, yeah, it's just so frustrating. Like thinking about it after the fact, none of it made sense at all. Like none of it went with the original mythology of the entity, and it's just like there's no consequences in this fucking movie.
Even Jeepers Creepers made an attempt to find out what the creeper was and how to fight against it, and that's what you expect from a sequel, of find out a bit more about the origins of this thing and how to combat it.
Well, I feel like they avoided that because it was done so well in the first film. I mean, of course, the random guy, oh, we need to kill you and then I'll bring you back because I'm a nurse. Like they kind of loosely did it, but it's like he wasn't even real.
Yeah, so
like at no point was he real.
And was the entity going to tell her how to destroy itself?
Yeah, it's just so goddamn dumb.
Yeah, it's like the mustache twirling villain going, here's my devilish plan. Mwahaha. Here's the flaw in it so you can beat me. No?
Yeah, that was exactly it. Especially because she takes the shit, she sticks herself with it, and then she's like, you think I'd let you do it this way? No, come on. I was like, man, that's stupid.
Yeah, but there you go. That was a thing. That was a movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy it. I'd probably watch it again. Like it did have some semblance of merit to it. Like the little bit of gore that was in it was pretty good.
Even the CGI blood was sort of over-released, I think, with a bit of practical. Didn't look horrible.
Well, that's the thing. Like this was a very good marriage of practical and digital. Because like even the entity,
apart from Lewis's death, because
I'm sure it was
ridiculous.
What's that?
Apart from Lewis's death, because that was daft.
I was pretty fucking funny.
Yeah,
I giggled.
Yeah, but I don't think you're meant to giggle. You're meant to go, oh.
Yeah, there was none of that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Just go, why are you doing this? You even have the template of the first movie to show you why it worked so well. What he did. Ah, dear.
So yeah, we'll see what the sequel's like, since there was hundreds and hundreds of people in that audience that witnessed her kill herself.
Is it going to multiply?
I have a feeling it's going to be like Rings.
Smile,
and that's not that's oh my god, I would watch that in a fucking heartbeat.
I am sick and tired of these motherfucking smiles on this motherfucking plane.
Dude, I would be probably the only motherfucker in that theater, but I would be first one in, opening day, first showing, just dick in hand, ready to beat it raw, because I'd be laughing so hard.
Yeah, but there's a movie as well that's stupid as hell, but it knew what it was doing. And it was in the joke.
Yeah, well, I mean, literally, like I'm sick of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane was a line developed by the fucking I don't remember what the boards were at the time, but like basically that was a fan right.
Yeah.
Like people were like, that should be in this movie, and they were like, fuck yeah, it should be.
Yeah, and that's, and that's the thing. This isn't a snobby channel of, ew, this isn't high art. It's, if you're going to write a comedy, write a comedy.
Mhm.
And if you're making a joke, be in on the joke. It's films that take themselves so seriously, but they fall so short.
Mhm.
And they try to be one thing and they unintentionally become the other.
Yeah.
We should not have been laughing in this movie.
No, that was definitely not the intent.
We didn't laugh in the first one. You know what I mean? In the first one, we're on board.
No, I laughed quite a bit in the first one, but I mean, it's still on board.
But like I said, there's certain, like the head dropping, in the trailer made me laugh. But like I said, once I put it in context, you're like, okay, that works.
Mhm.
It did enough to have you going, oh shit, this is a serious movie trying to tell a horror story.
Mhm.
This, none of it.
Yeah, this was just 2 hours of this is all just a dream.
Well, there you go. That was fun. Yay for the next. I just feel like it should be like an apology segment where I just keep. This movie's coming out. Oh shit! Sorry, mate.
No, see, here's the thing. This one, I was planning on seeing it.
Mhm.
So, like, this was going to happen whether we recorded on it or not. I don't regret going. I did enjoy myself, but yeah, it was definitely not the first one. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. That's not too bad then. I'm starting to feel a bit guilty.
No, fuck no. No, this was my fault.
Just
Like I said, I'd have seen this whether we were recording or not.
Yeah. There's been some good movies out this year, but it's not been a great year.
No.
And especially Halloween. Halloween was really dry.
Yeah. It's like the only thing had was like Terrifier 3.
Which I think would have been better if we released it actually at Christmas.
Well, it was supposed to be. It was a fucking Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, that clearly they fucking didn't make a mistake, considering it was the highest grossing film of the year.
Beating the other Clyde movie, but fucking
yeah. Well, not only that, like beating out like something like that.
Stupid amount. It's made a billion. Stupid amount of profit.
Well, it's a fucking record because it's the biggest, like most well received unrated movie of all time. So it's pure magic.
Just working on them, Damien. Just working on them editing skills. You're nearly there, mate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was much better than the second one. That's for sure.
You're going the right path. Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. Until next time, folks. Keep up to date with the channel. Do the type of kicky things, and remember to keep it creepy. Keep it horrific.